Who calls themselves the Nasty Nades, anyways? Anyways, hello guys, this is me, Reko Productions, or Emperor Reko, whoever would like to call me, once again. And, gonna be doing another My Thoughts video. And this time it's gonna be on Black Ops 2, because 3 years ago I made a pretty crappy video on the first game. Pretty much me being a fan of Call of Duty back then, for a very short amount of time. I really liked Black Ops, and granted, it did have its problems and occasions. It did have its advantages, but you know, in a way, I kind of been a little bit of a fanboy for the game. I didn't really give any good reasons on why the game wasn't really the best game of all time, but you know. But you know, back then Black Ops to me was a pretty good game. It was practically one of my favorite games, along with World at War in the Call of Duty franchise, at least, because since World at War was the first Call of Duty game I ever got, and I got Modern Warfare 2 out of curiosity's sake, and I wasn't really that much impressed with them games, to be honest. I guess because I really liked World at War so much, since it was my first Call of Duty game, and Modern Warfare 2 was a smack in the face to me, that I really liked Black Ops mainly because at least it was fair as much as it could be. Because Modern Warfare 2 just had so much bullshit in its multiplayer that I couldn't freaking stand it. But going back to it now, Modern Warfare 2 isn't necessarily a bad game, as much as I try and put it out to be. It certainly ain't as bad as Modern Warfare 3, the game that's literally the same exact thing as Modern Warfare 2, but much, much freaking worse. But I'll make another video about that later on. But aside from that, let's talk about Black Ops 2. The game I really wanted, because Modern Warfare 3 was so freaking bad. I needed something that freaking made me forget about that. Just same thing like with Black Ops 1, that pretty much the game I wanted to make me forget about Modern Warfare 2, and well, this game has a lot of questionable decisions in it. Even though I do kind of like it, it's not necessarily that bad. It's definitely far much better than Modern Warfare 3, but there's just something about this game that just makes me feel like Black Ops 1 was much better. So, for this My Thoughts video, I'm going to be talking about 4 major things. And that's going to be the campaign, the multiplayer, the zombies, and the DLC. Usually I don't like talking about the DLC a lot, because usually I just wait until the DLC usually comes out later. But I think the DLC should be something I should talk about as a major thing for these games, since, well, DLC seems to be the only thing that seems to keep these damn games alive now anymore. So, I guess I'll talk about the first good thing about this game, which is the campaign mode, which is pretty good. It's probably the best campaign mode in this series. I know I said that for the first game, but surprisingly the campaign seems to be getting much better, except for Modern Warfare 3. But I guess the best thing about the campaign is practically all the new decisions they decided to do with it, all the new twists and turns they decided to do with the campaign mode, because let's be honest, throughout the previous story modes in the previous Call of Duty games, they've just been kind of more like an experience. You start off the campaign, you go through its levels and stuff, and then you're done. Pretty much. Go straight to the multiplayer. Black Ops 2's campaign was practically the only campaign I ever actually played 3 times, so I could actually get all the different endings and stuff, because that was the thing, it had different endings you can get in the game. It had different choices you can make in the game, even though they're not very big choices you can do. I mean, there's no freaking Fallout New Vegas when it comes to decision making, but with a first-person shooter campaign style, it's pretty big in itself. So I did like all the different decisions you can make on certain parts of the campaign. I like how all the decisions you can make on who lives, who dies, on characters that I actually cared about for once. Because pretty much since this is a direct sequel to the first game, even though I think the title for this game is freaking lazy as hell. Black Ops 2, really. This doesn't sound right, I don't know why. And the missions are still fun, even though there isn't that many. I think there's only like 11 main ones and like 5 Strike Force mission ones. Which, another thing I also have to say about this campaign mode is the Strike missions. Which, even I would admit, wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I don't know, I thought the idea of it being kind of like an RTS, like an RTS style game, along as a first-person shooter in the same time would be pretty interesting. But the fact that there wasn't that many Strike Force missions and the fact that they weren't really programmed that well is something that is pretty much a downside, the only downside to the campaign, really. But aside from that, I really like the campaign. Its story is very interesting because it's probably one of the only stories in any of the Call of Duty games where I kind of question if I was being the good guy or not. Because mainly it was the one where it's the only one where its bad guy was actually had any kind of development. Other than he being the bad guy, you barely see him throughout the entire campaign mode. Upset, you talk about him, you talk about that specific bad guy a lot, but he's barely in the game. Like with Makarov in Modern Warfare 2 and freaking Dragovich in Black Ops. So I like how they gave Raul more an actual role in the game than any of the other villains did. So, and the missions were fun. They were long enough, and for a 2-year development, they actually did a pretty good job for that, since they were kind of building this campaign mode up. So yeah, campaign's pretty good. I'll save the multiplayer for later, since that'll probably be the one I'll be talking about the most, since usually it's the only main focus for all these Call of Duty games. So let's talk about the zombies. I will admit, Black Ops 1 zombies, I didn't really like that much. I really enjoyed the one in World at War, but for some reason, the first Black Ops zombies was not really that good. I may have said it's really good in the first, in my first video on the game, but when I look back at it, I didn't really enjoy it that much. Mainly because, man, I'm really gonna sound like a noob for saying this, but I guess because it was just so freaking hard. And I know, it may sound like I suck, mainly because I probably do as well, but is a game really fun just for it being really hard? Mainly, I get pretty dang bored out of trying to play the same zombie maps over and over again, just because its difficulty is extremely hard. I mean, the only zombies maps I really liked in that game were probably Dead Ops Arcade, mainly because I always love overhead shooters, and what was that other thing? Dang it, what's the one with the... It's kind of like Mob of the Dead. It had the same thing, but I can't remember what the name was. It Call of the Dead. Yeah, I like Call of the Dead, mainly because that was the biggest map ever. And I kind of like Ascension as well. But those were DLC zombies maps. With the DLC, that was the only reason why I ever gotten back to zombies in the first place. Because the Kill Der Untoten was hard. 5 was just unfreaking fair because that freaking map was poorly designed. But, I don't know, there was just something about it I couldn't really get into that much, mainly because I guess it was just the same thing as it was in World at War, except they made it even more complicated and just upped the difficulty a little, even more than ever. So I just couldn't really get into the zombies mode. The multiplayer was the big thing for me for the first game, but for me, to this game at least, the zombies mode was the biggest thing for me for this game, because they actually did some new things for the zombies mode, like they did with the campaign mode. They added different game modes for it, which actually brought me more into zombies than ever. I mean, I really enjoyed playing Grief because, well, the whole idea of having 2 teams trying to survive from an unlimited amount of waves of zombies and see which team lays out as a victor was pretty interesting. The only thing I didn't like about Grief was the whole freaking reset rave whenever your team couldn't survive, even though you beat the other team and shit. Damn, that... I had a freaking video. I made like a little video on theater mode showing how long it took for us to finally complete the damn zombies map. Just zombies map while it was resetting itself and shit. It's kind of hard to explain. Turned sucked, the big one, even though it's a DLC one, but no one ever plays Turned, and it's practically just gun game, but with zombies. What was the other one? Gun Game and King of the Hill were like, not King of the Hill, like there was like some specific game mode on Halo that's kind of like that. And then to just have regular survival, which I guess is alright to it in itself. At least it's simple, unlike the very complicated survival mode that the zombies maps now have. I guess the only thing I didn't really like about the zombies mode was, of course, the maps weren't really that good. And, well, this DLC is the only reason why you keep getting the zombies map in the first place, so I guess there's that. But for some reason, I just got more into the zombies mode in this game than I did in the previous game, so at least they did something with it, at least. So now we go straight to the multiplayer. And this is probably the disappointing part about it, because I was really looking forward to this game's multiplayer, because I really liked the first game's multiplayer a lot, because it was fair and stuff, and the maps were pretty good. I liked the customization in it. You know, I liked it. And also, you know, the customization is really good in this game too. I mean, they handled the perk system well. I really like the pick 10 system. I really like the wild cards and all that. I like all of that. I thought it was kind of weird. I thought they kind of downplayed on the reticle, like the colored reticle stuff and all that. And I thought, they did at least bring in a challenging factor where they now had all the challenges and stuff. And I was kind of disappointed that they also got rid of the COD points. But I think when they added the whole point system where you had to use points to get certain weapons and stuff, I thought that was fair enough. And the kill streaks didn't really bother me that much either, since it was already hard enough to get them on Team Deathmatch anyway. So, but no, it wasn't the weapons. It wasn't necessarily the weapons really. It wasn't necessarily the equipment or the customization or the kill streaks or the game modes. Even though there wasn't really that many new game modes either, but because usually everyone will complain about all that stuff on every Call of Duty game. No, the only main factor that I have to complain about for this game is the gameplay and the maps itself. Now, for Modern Warfare 3, the thing that killed me for that game was its horrible freaking gameplay and the fact that you move so freaking slow and it's freaking slow in the game. And not to mention the maps freaking suck the big one in that game. But Black Ops 2 kind of fixed that. You actually move a little fast. You actually move much faster in this game. But I think you move a little too fast. Like, a little too fast. Like, the game is fast-paced. But I think they went a little too far with its fast-paced gameplay. And it doesn't help that literally with the maps they decided to program, they went for the small map approach. Literally, most of the maps in this game are small 3-pathway maps. That's it. Like, for instance, Aftermath. It has 3 different pathways, and it's pretty... I mean, I think it's like medium-sized at least. This is one of those maps that's like at least decent size. There's plenty of other maps that are so small, you can't even find a good spot to use your dang kill streak or call in a care package. The maps are freaking small, and the fact that the game's so fast-paced, the game will be over, like in 5 minutes. Like, you will be surprised how fast the freaking game ends. You'll be spawn killed so many times. In fact, I don't think the spawn killing is that bad in this game. Now I think about it, but the game's so fast-paced, I can't even keep up. I'm more used to how the games played in Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops, where it was kind of in a decent pace at least. For Modern Warfare 3, it was so slow. For this game, it's too fast. I can't keep up with it. I can't get used to it, no matter how many times I try to play it. And the more times I play it, the more I get bored of the freaking game. Because that's all it is. It's small map, too fast-paced action. And that's what killed it for me in this game. And it's bad, and it sucks too because it's not really that bad either. I mean, I can do pretty well, but there's just something about it. Like, I just can't really get into it. Maybe I just gotten too old, and this game's just so too young and hip for me, just for me to even catch up to it. I'm always late in the new technological advantages, I guess. And that's pretty much what killed it for me. They couldn't get the pace right. And not to mention the maps are so small and sucky that I couldn't freaking stand it either. at least this game had bots, at least. If it wasn't for that, I would have given up on this game a long time ago. But even then, I kind of got bored of the bots either, as well. It's strange, too, because they now added... They now made the bots compatible with all the other game modes, except for Search and Destroy, which is one of the main reasons why I decided to get this game. Why I wanted to play bots in the first place was for Search and Destroy. Because Search and Destroy sucks now, because it's so freaking competitive in a way. Like, it's so taken less seriously now, Search and Destroy. I can't take Search and Destroy seriously with all the kinds of players that play it anymore. I mean, if there's one thing that Ghosts... I mean, I played the Ghost demo. It wasn't that bad. In fact, they got the pace right in that game, even though the maps are way too big. But if there's one thing that Ghost did right, is that they got rid of Demolition, because Demolition sucks the big one, and they added Search and Rescue, which actually finally puts the teamwork in Search and Destroy. Okay, at least they did something right with that. So, and I just finished this thing. So this film against the Nasty Nades, and that was for League Play, and League Play is so freaking pointless for me. I might as well just, I mean, if I played I mean, the good thing about League Play is that everything's unlocked for you. But the fact that everything's unlocked for you is that everyone will choose the most overpowered custom classes. There's no freaking point anyways. So yeah, and the DLC maps are no better. They're much smaller than the actual maps in the game. So if the DLC maps don't help, then there's no point. There's no point. I mean, and most of the new that's another freaking thing that pisses me off about the DLC. And you know what? I might as well talk about it as well. I might as well talk about the DLC as well. They keep recreating the same maps, like for Nuketown 2025. I thought that was an interesting bonus because at least that map was for free. But all the new DLC maps they're releasing now are like recreations of their old previous maps, the ones that were actually good in the games the good games they were supposed to be in. I mean, like for the last DLC pack, they had 2 recreation maps. They had one for Stadium, like really Stadium. And they had a World at War map, which I think was Courtyard. Now, those maps were pretty good Courtyard was good in the game was in World at War. Do you think the map is going to be good in a game like this? A game that's already too fast-paced with all this new stuff in it, with all the crossbows and kill streaks and stuff? Probably not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the map may be the same. It may have a new look and all that. But the gameplay and the feeling isn't. Now, the DLC for this game, it's alright. I mean, they did some new things that were at least good. I mean, all the new stuff Modern Warfare 3 added in, like Face Off and all those new other game modes like All or Nothing, freaking that Juggernaut game mode. That freaking ugh, man, those are freaking failures. Face Off sucked the big one. I mean, how many times have I said suck the big one? It seems that's the thing. That seems to be the running theme for Call of Duty. Everything sucks the big one. I mean, if you thought the DLC for Black Ops 2 wasn't the same with all its personalization packs that you can't even take, like the camos you can't take seriously and they're so pointless you don't even need them. Or the freaking the only useful personalization pack I ever gotten was the extra slots, because at least now I was able to have more custom classes, so I don't even need to waste like a prestige point for an extra custom class. That was the only useful thing I ever gotten. But anything else, like all the other personalization packs, aren't useful in any way other than to show off your swag. Yeah, because that's the most important thing in the world, ain't it? Its DLC packs aren't that bad. They're definitely a step up from Modern Warfare 3. I mean, what I mean by that, I mean the freaking zombies maps at least, which are the only reasons why anyone seems to be getting them anymore. And, well, I did enjoy the Peace Walker. No, wait, is that what it's called? No, the Peacekeeper. No, Peace Walker is definitely better than this, but... No, the Peacekeeper, even though I'm pretty sure that was already coded in the game before. And they decided to release it as DLC because it was locked in the game. But, oh, at least they were accomplishments. I mean, most of the stuff that Modern Warfare 3 released as DLC were failures. And the whole freaking calendar bullshit thing they did, that whole season pass calendar bullshit, that was a big freaking failure. I mean, yeah, they released more maps, but I don't think they were even that good or eye-spotting. At least the new map, at least with every map Treyarch releases for this game, they actually have interesting. They were cool to look at. The maps sucked, but they were cool to look at, I guess. For Modern Warfare 3, the game wasn't even visually pleasing to the eye. The whole game was gray. At least this game is at least colorful in some way. But yeah. But yeah, if you thought the personalization packs and the DLC for this game is freaking crazy and wacky, you gotta see Ghosts. Oh my lord, all the stuff Ghosts released. I mean, they have a kitten camo. They have weed camo. They have freaking all those character customization packs. Like you can play as Soap in multiplayer. You can play as Makarov on multiplayer. Even though you don't get to see them in first-person view anyways, which I think is one of the reasons why Black Ops, why Treyarch kind of got rid of the whole customization thing for Black Ops 2, because I think, well, it wasn't really that much customization like, with the face paints. They kind of got rid of that because you don't get to see your face paint in first-person view anyways, unless you die. So there was no point in the whole customization thing since the whole game is in first-person view. I mean, it's cool and all, if it was a mod at least, but yeah, the whole character customization thing was kind of pointless. I think it was even much better in Call of Duty Online, a Chinese multiplayer game. Oh, and this one's my favorite. The voice packs. You know those announcers you usually hear that interrupt the game countless of times in your multiplayer matches? Yeah, how would you like to have a drill instructor or Snoop Dogg speak to you over your games? Or the freaking DLC packs. I mean DLC packs where they have Michael Myers and the Predator as freaking what's it called? Strike orders or damn, I can't remember. Field orders. You can't take the game serious. Call of Duty Ghosts literally killed all credibility, killed all sense of reality, killed any point to take this freaking franchise seriously. They can't. Infinity Ward can't come. Well, the new Infinity Ward can't come up with any new ideas in themselves. They might as well take all the good things from other franchises and put it into this franchise and completely ruin it in itself. They ruined their identity. They have Call of Duty Ghosts has no identity whatsoever. Ghost's identity was destroyed immediately once they released their first DLC pack. At least with Black Ops 2, they didn't go that far, okay? Because the whole cool camo thing was already a thing for Call of Duty. With Ghost, they just went off of the whole. They just went too far with it. So I don't know. I still kind of like Black Ops 2, but I don't know. I just gotten so bored of the whole franchise now that I just can't go back to playing it. I can't even go back to playing Black Ops 1 anymore, or even World at War, which only brings one consideration. It's clear that Call of Duty games are designed to only be played for a year. I mean, think about it. No one will ever go back to playing Call of Duty 4 again, especially how hacked up it is anymore, unless it has mods. That's the only point. I mean, the DLC and the mods are the only thing that keeps these games alive anymore. And the fact that the newer games aren't compatible with mods just lowered their lifespan more. They're only meant to be played for 1 year, and then you go out to get the next one. But no one's fool enough to do so because the newer game's gonna suck worse than the last one. I mean, it's the same Call of Duty cycle. The newer games suck, but the previous ones are good. But no. Modern Warfare 3 still sucks, Ghost can't be taken seriously, and Black Ops 2 was just a little disappointing. But even then, I'll still take Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 over Modern Warfare 3 and Ghosts. At least I'll take them seriously. A little seriously, at least. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm literally done with Call of Duty by this point. I mean, the only Call of Duty game I'll ever get is probably the new Treyarch ones, because at least those are the ones I'll know that'll that actually bring new actual ideas to the table. I mean, they've been making better Call of Duty games than Infinity Ward has for the past couple of years now. I mean, and hell, they're probably going to be releasing something even better now due to the whole 3-year cycle now. Yeah, there's a new Call of Duty now has a new 3-year dev cycle because they have a new developer on the line now. Sledgehammer. Yeah, the guys that worked on Modern Warfare 3. That's a sign for freaking accomplishment. Yeah, their newest game is going to be announced next month, which is tomorrow. Yeah, May's tomorrow. It's going to be announced in May. So, and I'm really fearing it's going to be Modern Warfare 4. I mean, I know it better not be Modern Warfare 4. It really better not be. But you never know. And I may give Sledgehammer a chance. I mean, Ghost is much better than Modern Warfare 3. I can already tell. I probably won't be as pissed as I was. Probably won't be pissed in that game as I was in Modern Warfare 3. But I don't know. With Sledgehammer, I don't know how long they worked on the game, but the fact that they worked on it already speaks for itself. So. But yeah, again, they're given a lot of time. They've been working on this game for quite a while. They had to put it on hold to work on Modern Warfare 3, so it may not even be Modern Warfare 4. It may be something completely different. Or maybe it may be an expansion to Modern Warfare, but be a different name. But it's still Modern Warfare. I don't know. All I know is that Treyarch now has plenty of time to do stuff. They've been releasing new personalization packs, which is one of the reasons why I had to update this game. So they're probably going to have lots of time to work on their newest game, whatever it could be. So hopefully it'll be much better than this game, and hopefully it'll probably give me back my Call of Duty buzz. But I highly doubt that by this point, seeing how Call of Duty Ghost is going. So, but anyways, that's pretty much my thoughts on this game. It's not bad, but I kind of gotten bored to this series now, so it's a shame, but I know. So, I'm cutting off now, and I'll see you all later.